Hey everyone, I'm Cheryl Butler, and you're listening to the Mighty Mommy's Quick and Dirty Tips podcast, which will help make your life as a parent a little bit easier and a lot more fun. Welcome. This is episode number 323, titled, How to Handle a Cranky Child. Whether you have a child that seems to be more ornery than another, or you just want to figure out how you can better handle those cranky days that all kids face from time to time, take a listen to Mighty Mommy's easy strategies to help turn cranky into happy. I don't think there's a parent out there who hasn't had to deal with a cranky child. It's practically a rite of passage. Before I had kids, I had idyllic notions of a household of sweet, loving children who smiled and played happily all day. Of course, these fantasies were quickly squashed when I actually had kids and discovered how cranky they can get during periods of sickness, teething, discovering their independence, or not getting their way. All those temporary issues aside, the fact is that some kids and adults just have a crankier nature than others. But even the most cheerful kid has a crabby day here and there. Mighty Mommy has been through it all, so here are 5 tips to take your kid from crabby to cheerful. Tip number 1, don't let yourself get cranky. When an unpleasant child-rearing situation crops up, whether it's a tantrum, whining, pouting, or any other bratty behavior that kids often resort to, the thing to remember is that you likely won't be able to control what your child does. The thing you can control, however, is how you respond. It's easy to snap and get cranky right back, but all that does is add fuel to the fire. When you have an unhappy camper on your hands, regardless of their age, take a deep breath and step back before you respond. When you've got the proper mindset, including your body language and tone of voice, you have a much better chance of diffusing the situation. A bonus is that this approach sets a good example of appropriate behavior for your child without you having to lecture about it. Tip number 2, if they're crabby, put them in water. One of my favorite children's poems was written by an author known as Sark, S-A-R-K, and it's called How to Really Love a Child. I love it because it's simple, real, and it gives some great advice. One of the lines in the poem is, if they're crabby, put them in water. This tip was something that I used all the time when my kids were toddlers and preschoolers. I would fill the bathtub, grab their favorite tub toys, and let them splash around for 15 minutes. The warm water seemed to soothe them, and the unexpected bath time distracted them and usually changed their cranky behavior almost instantly. Even now, with my teens and tweens, if they're having a bad day or are irritable about something, I always suggest they take a warm shower or bath. It still works like a charm. And it's not just for kids. When I'm having a difficult moment, I fill the kitchen sink and I wash dishes by hand with warm, soapy water. It's relaxing for me, and it allows me to unclutter my mind and step away from my problems. Tip number 3, check the schedule. If your family is routine-oriented and you get off track due to an unexpected appointment or a delay which interferes with your child's mealtime, nap ritual, or other expected event, then your child's crankiness could simply be the result of a break in the routine. Younger kids who don't have the ability to express their feelings, well, they can easily get out of sync and react badly to a sudden shift in their routine. If that's the case, the best thing to do is course correct and hopefully avoid cranky patterns in the future. Tip number 4, interject some fun. Most of us don't enjoy being around people who are in a foul mood. In my household with 8 kids, the chances of having more than one prankster at a time was often a good bet. One person's negative outlook can send a ripple effect throughout the rest of the house. And if the cranky bug catches, you're faced with a nasty atmosphere. Just as it takes one person to set off a cranky cascade, it can take just one person to turn it around and change the vibe from whiny and unhappy to playful and fun. For example, if one of my kids was in a bad mood because he didn't get a favorite snack or toy, instead of wasting my time telling him why he was wrong to pout, I just started talking in a funny voice or making silly faces to lighten the mood. It often got the other kids laughing, and eventually even the crabby camper ended up laughing too. Instead of dwelling on the cranky behavior, turn on some fun music and start dancing around the room, singing loudly. This will often deflect the bad mood and help the child who's having a hard time loosen up. And yes, I still use this tactic for my teenagers. And tip number 5, hug and let it be. Everyone gets into a bad mood from time to time, and sometimes there's nothing we can do but wait it out. When all else fails, reassure your child that you love them and give them a big hug and use a gentle tone of voice. And then just let the crank be. They'll come around eventually. What are some ways you get your cranky child out of a bad mood? Share them with us in the comments section at quickanddirtytips.com/mighty-mommy, or post your ideas on the Mighty Mommy Facebook page, or you can email me at mommy@quickanddirtytips.com. And I hope you'll visit my family-friendly boards at pinterest.com/mightymommyqdt. Be sure to sign up for the upcoming Mighty Mommy newsletter, chock full of practical advice to make your parenting life easier and more enjoyable. Wishing you and your family a great week, everyone. Thanks for listening, and until next time, happy parenting.